Welcome back to My Cup of TV with Jenny,
JD,
Erin,
and Kat.
So, SB19. This is Kat's first experience.
Of SB19.
Yeah, and we're going to start you with a documentary.
Okay.
So you will learn before you even hear any songs.
That's what we like.
So, yes, you all very much recommended Casual Chuck's docu-series. So we're going to watch episode 1. It's called Soundbreak, which is what the SB stands for.
Oh, is it?
Apparently so. We're going to learn a lot.
I hope we learn a lot and we don't fail our SB19 class.
So it's just a fan that's just made these documentaries.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he actually
Dedication.
watched mine and Erin's first reaction to SB19 on his live stream, which was
really weird to watch.
It was weird. Do you know what? It's nice, but it's weird to have people watch you and talk about you. I know that we do that for people to do that, but to see it, it was really surreal.
I messaged you.
Someone flipped and reversed it, and I was like, ah!
Oh yeah.
Sorry, now I've got me seeing it in my head.
Yeah.
Flip it and rip it. Because I messaged you with a picture that we were on Twitter as well, and I was like, people are talking about
Yeah,
this.
when people
It's
share
weird.
clips on Twitter and someone tags me in it, or on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, there's me.
I think especially because I just sit here and talk to you guys, and like there is a camera, but like it's not.
We don't know it goes anywhere
Yeah,
else.
and
You're just like, oh.
what then happens?
Yeah. So, we're going to enjoy this. So, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. In the comments, which part of this episode surprised you the most? What piece of information? Because I feel like we could be getting to their backstories.
Cool.
Erin, your tissues are beside
No,
you.
I've not been working today. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
First off, he is correct. We don't earn money from music reactions. I see a lot of stuff online where people say you must be making so much money. On YouTube, it's all copyright claims. You don't make any on that.
Nothing.
Okay.
Chuckies. Oh, well, now I can see it's cash
Yeah.
because it's the
Yeah.
dollar sign.
Disclaimer. This video is only based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies. But I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible. So enjoy. This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented. In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
Oh, that sounds like a big mistake. Or maybe not a big
No,
mistake.
no,
if it,
we're
re-
not
if
with
it
this.
resulted in good things.
It's one of the things that's got to be bad
Do
for it
you
gets
remember
good.
this song?
Oh, look at that!
Oh.
It all started with this man, Jong Song-han. When he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur, Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans definitely thought that Song-han's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called ShowBT Entertainment. Yep, I'm talking about Tatang Robin. Tatang noticed how passionate Filipino fans were during the rise of K-pop, so he wanted to organize K-pop concerts and events that promote Korean and Filipino culture. To make that happen, he needed entertainers, a group of young people that will be part of the package of their service as an event organizer. We are talking about people who can do dancing, singing, and even act as servants like waiting tables and assisting guests. So he held an audition and hundreds of young talents applied. 30 of them passed as trainees. They were then called Nara, which in Korean means country and is the national tree of the Philippines. They went to multiple events together, including the fan meeting event of the K-pop group called Off-Road.
I know this song.
After numerous events, Tatang Robin saw something special when it comes to Filipino talent. He realized that some of these trainees were far too talented to just end up as small-time performers. So he decided to launch the first P-pop boy group that underwent strict Korean-type training. Out of the 30 trainees,
They're doing Pick
only
Me!
a few have made it.
It's from Produce 101. Oh.
Jan Paulo Nase. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. As a trainee, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to provide for his family.
Wow.
He was the first one selected due to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability, a badass rapper, and was often dubbed as a genius, but he consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of the group.
This
He
is why
debuted
people
with the
love
name
it.
Sejun, but later changed his name to Pablo. Now that the methodical leader is chosen, they needed more members. Tatang Robin just got a genius composer in Pablo, so they needed someone who can dance. And this next guy is exactly that. And even more. Stelvester Ahero.
I love the
He
name
was only 16
Stelvester.
when he started competing as a dancer while studying. He was a born winner despite growing up as a bullied kid. He
Didn't
made
even come in
performing
as a
his
singer.
escape from the
Came
harsh
in as a
reality of
dancer.
the world. He did a great job channeling the negative aspect of his life and converting it by winning multiple K-pop dance cover competitions with his group Sayon. He is also a hard worker. He was teaching dance to kids while competing. There was a point when he worked too hard that it threatened his life due to poor health. He is a very skilled choreographer. In fact, he's the main culprit behind most of SB19's snappy and amazingly synchronized dance routines.
Main culprit.
But
I
little
love
did
that.
they know that dancing wasn't even his only talent.
Exactly.
He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just He debuted as Stell, the main vocalist, the lead dancer, and choreographer of the group.
Oh.
Josh
man.
Juan Santos became homeless at the age of 16 and it was his decision. He's had the worst childhood among the other members. From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. At an early age, he witnessed what it feels like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. He experienced getting evicted from apartments to smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat but ketchup and salt. They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters.
God.
Sometimes he would get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he took matters into his own hands by leaving. He became independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system and was able to finish his high school degree. He clearly had no background in performing. Not until he met new friends from the dance community, which led to him meeting Stell and Sayon. They became co-members and went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea. In a way, Josh was saved by Stell after trying so hard to save himself. And it paid off because after training, Josh ended up debuting as the
Jesus.
lead rapper and dancer of the group.
That's amazing.
Justin DeJoss didn't have to audition. Apparently, he was a very good-looking guy that when he joined a talent workshop as a teenager, ShowBT immediately took notice and offered him to become a trainee to improve his
so
singing
cute.
and dancing skills. He was one of the late joiners, and when he did, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar.
Apparently, the two had a stint in performing together in a K-pop dance cover group called Zero to Hero.
Hey, welcome to the world next door with us.
So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar show, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. He didn't have great singing skills at the time. It was only when he became a trainee that he improved astoundingly in the vocal department. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a skill in filmmaking. He then got selected to debut as the main
What is that MV?
vocalist and the creative director of the group. He was the would-be director behind the record-breaking P-pop music video, What, and more. But that's a story for another video. At this point, ShowBT seemed to have completed the group. 4 members in a P-pop group, a nice even number. 2 rappers and 2 vocalists. They were perfectly balanced, but they felt like something was missing. Perhaps someone was missing. Someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the
It's
next
giving me
level,
goosebumps.
the extraordinary level. Someone so naturally gifted that he could stand out in the presence of the already talented group of young artists. This venture that Tatang Robin took needed an apex, so he started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy. Philip John Suson is such a specimen.
Oh.
He was so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in the church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later fixed it as he learned more. He didn't even know that he could dance until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school interims. After discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly. Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to form a K-pop dance cover group called Amigo 7. Apparently, his group gave Josh's group so much trouble during their early competitions because they were very good rivals. So he decided to recruit him.
I love that.
Yeah.
Was hundreds of
That's like
idols
that
away
respect.
and didn't
I know
have
someone
the
who's
money.
so good.
What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the countryside.
amazing.
He
Wow.
then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin failed his first audition, so he didn't even bother to audition again because he thought he wasn't ready. And Josh wouldn't have attempted to recruit Ken if ShowBT's training program didn't even exist.
Oh
And
my
that,
god.
ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect.
I love it.
When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event sometime long after the initial event, or as Google would put it, a phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have a large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop case.
What
This,
is that?
I need that.
SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines area code digits 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19. SB doesn't only mean ShowBT. It is all about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by this praise. Soundbreak.
That was really good.
So good.
To give you like a nice bit about each member without there being so much that you can't remember it all. Do you know what I mean? Nice bits to then delve further into.
I like the fact that he starts with where they came from and their natural passion, because then you start on a foundation of their integrity, and then you
Yeah.
go on and it obviously comes about where they're at now and how gorgeous they are and things like that, but it just starts from their love of music, their grit, determination, just who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a nice place to start, because I don't know, for me, I'll enjoy artists, movies, all things like that, actors, whatever, and I respect that, but then when I learn about them as a person, it like just exponentially increases your respect for them, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, I like this person, so I want to support them as well.
I think that's what takes you from kind of a listener to a stan.
Yeah.
To know that for all of them, they were born to that creative path.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like I'll see. No, they've obviously been grinding at it since they were so young. Like all these dance troupes that they were in, and just picking up instruments, and I don't know. I don't know that I had enough fight in me to be, if I'd been knocked down, to then be like, right, I'm going to support myself. And then I'm going to go and do my own learning. But also I'm going to do this stuff. It just, like you said, it just speaks such volumes to their characters.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why when you put 5 of them together, and what we've done like 6 videos, and we are so invested in them, because now you see this, like, that's why. Because they are real people with real passions that obviously had these like crazy linked connections together.
Yeah.
And that's what draws you in. It's like they're holding a magnet.
Interesting to also hear how the group was formed, as in, you know, one person leaving and deciding to do their own thing. It actually gave me memories, things we think of, Bang PD Nim leaving JYP, starting his own group of people that, you know, had worked hard and just not had the break. But yeah, interesting to hear like you said, the connections between different people before they ever went there.
That's kind of freaky though, isn't it? Because you get that in life of like, if you work backwards and you're like, if this didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and this went out, and it's a little bit like, oh.
Well, I know Erin and I have had conversations about how we were at the same concert or the same clubs and things and had never met.
Yeah.
But if we had met at those times, we probably wouldn't have got on.
Yeah, and if
they
didn't work together, then we wouldn't have all met each other.
Yeah, it's about how all the stars do need to align, and what they touched on with the butterfly effect is the fact that sometimes those stars align by you failing.
Yeah,
you didn't get through to the live auditions. This group didn't pick off here.
Yeah,
this didn't happen. You beat me in this competition, or vice versa. Nothing. I'm a really firm believer. Nothing is ever truly, or very few things are either truly good or truly bad that you can't find. There has been something to take from it, and
they're just directions, aren't they?
They are. You never know which sort of thing. But only for them, maybe still not even, they might not feel that yet, but obviously it's only for us when we can look back at all that stuff for them. We're like, wow, it's a trust the process, because you don't know until you get there, do you?
And at the time you only see that bit, like Josh might have just been like, oh, I know this guy, whereas it's like you didn't see all of the other bits that went into it, you know, like almost like an iceberg or something. We only see a little bit.
If we go like member by member, it seems that they've recognised very quickly that Pablo is very talented in lyrics and composition and all of that, as well as
it seems very deep stuff.
The fact that he was like ran a whole very corporate data analytic job whilst being such a creative person, that to me speaks to how wide-ranging his intelligence must be. I'm not saying that either one is smarter than the other, but to have both like a logical, analytical side of the brain as well as such a deep creative side, I think, or at least I feel, is reasonably rare to find in an individual.
And the fact that Stell wasn't even a singer, what?
Yeah.
Oh my.
What?
Like, hey, this guy dances really well. Let's have him in. But what did I say when we did Eli? I was like, that is that vocal that.
I'd love to know how that all played out. Like, he came in dancing, they were like, but we'll also need to do some vocal work, or maybe you're a rapper.
They caught him singing in the shower.
Yeah, and he started singing and they went, whoa, wait a minute.
Or they're having a break, he's singing along and they're like...
Yeah. Or you'll have to support. Can you do backing vocals? I'll give it a go. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because maybe if it wasn't like crisp and clear, I think you can hear the tone and the potential in someone's voice.
Yeah.
And then it's tidying and building it up. What did they say? What was the funny line about the choreography?
The main culprit.
The main
culprit.
Oh, that is possibly my favourite. It makes me love him like
That's
even
when you
more.
know this has been made by a fan.
Yeah.
Because they're not going down this professional. They're like, no, let's say what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
Culprit.
Yeah. You're the reason we've been squirming all morning.
And then Josh, we knew that he did have a traumatic life. I think people did say that he did put out a video giving a lot more details about his childhood, but he's since taken it down. Talking about being abused by a nanny, which, by the way, I'm a nanny. That goes against everything. And
Good
being
for him,
homeless
though.
and
good for him, developing that strength and being like, do you know what? Screw this. This is not. These circumstances is not where it ends for me. Like, this is not. I can do something about it, and it's pretty amazing.
I listening to that when they said that he'd obviously got a job, and then he went online to get his high school degree. I'm not sure what they called it, but I'm just like, see, that's the difference. I probably wouldn't have, because I would have been like, I've got a job now, that's enough.
That was exactly my
point. So that just shows you the work ethic.
Yeah. He still went back and sort of plugged in the bits that he missed, as it were, that because he was like, no, I want all of these so that I can have my best chance of going forward.
Well, not even that, for some people it's like a completion thing. I want to know that I finished this, I achieved that.
The difficulty of those kinds of situations is that, obviously, if the family's gone through bankruptcy and, for him, if, they're having been abused, none of those things are from his actions.
No.
So
that's what he's born into.
He is at a disadvantage, has been put down through nothing that he has done, and to find strength in there to climb out of it, I just think it's phenomenal. And so it was he and Stell that were in
a dance group.
So for both of them, obviously, because Tate spoke about Stell as well, being bullied and not always going to school because of their circumstances and moving around. That's got to be some kind of bonding, that you aren't alone. You've both struggled, but you've still had a flicker of passion and something that you want to work towards, and that's so lovely that that circumstances maybe brought them together and bonded, and look now where that has brought them in a place to obviously their talent and hard work, but
because I think you can pick it up in people who have not had it easy. You can often tell because they have a strength about them that you can only get from having had to deal with something. Josh I'm just Josh on the brain. Justin. God, I just every time he comes on screen I just want to scream cute.
So he bypassed audition. He just
do you know what he had? What Jin had? There's something in the water with you and who you lean towards.
Do you know what? Because here are the people that you walk in, they're like, yep, they're visual, and they're like, yeah, but here, look what I'm so much more.
Yeah.
Because yes, with Justin, of course he's beautiful. The first thing I think I really probably feel like I said about him was that he's like the vocal king. I could feel it.
Yeah.
But also, again, going back to what you're saying about like the company giving them maybe some freedom to do stuff. He got like directing credits for stuff and has produced things. It just shows that they're not just singers or whatever, they have so much creativity and outlets in so many different places that you can then feel that in their own stuff. You know,
everyone's bringing something to the table, which is great.
You know that everything they put out is them.
Yeah.
And I also really like the fact that it was honest, it was factual, that what he was talking about, where he said Justin came to the group and he wasn't a strong singer, but he trained, the company gave him the vocal coach, everything, and he learned. And then, because again, when I first heard Gento, his bit was my favourite, of the growly bit, and I was like, ooh, what's that? So I would not know that, and again, there's obviously good teachings and whatnot, because when I see him sing, I wouldn't have known that he, you know, but it's just an instrument, it's really rusty unless you use it, so his development. But I think it's, I don't know, I think personally I find it's too fickle for someone to sit there and go, oh, they're all perfect vocalists all the time, blah, blah. No, they're not, because they've got that way through their hard work and their practice and everything. Some people will have more natural aptitude and talent in there, but you've still got to work to perfect it and shine it and keep it. And so with him, it was like, I liked the fact that they mentioned that he was brought into the group because he had a really good look, but yet they were going to develop him, and he wanted to develop that. So he worked hard, and it's great.
I also think, though, when people are handpicked, like Justin, like Jin, like Hyunjin of Stray Kids, it's not just a look, because there are many good looking people in the world. There's usually, that may be what catches your eye, but then there is something about them that's just like, they got something. A charisma, I always call it, you know, there's something. And the fact that he also got, they said it was a college degree as well.
Yeah, while he was doing it.
And then Ken, I love that, I think it says something about, say, Josh as well, to think of someone who was your rival, and because they said he thought of him, he worked with the whole group. Doesn't seem that he thought of everyone there. I know all these people we could call. It's like, that guy obviously stood out to him.
Yeah, it's a compliment, and also
to
shows the maturity of Josh as well, to be like, it's admiration. It's not, it's competition, but it's healthy competition. It's not toxic competition. It was, I know a guy, he was awesome. So I think that's great.
And to pay for his flight because he couldn't afford it.
He just knew that was an investment. He was like, you've got to get on that plane.
There's also, you could say, from Josh, of having come from nothing, maybe like, but if I hadn't been given the chance, so now I can give someone else the chance.
Didn't want him to miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. But also at that point there were 4 of them, and whoever you're choosing or recommending, you want them to come in to be a part with you. So you do want to go for like, who's going to fit with us that has that stand-up talent. Now obviously they'll have checked, they'll look into it, but you know,
they weren't going to accept crap. Like,
no.
got to keep that standard.
Really interesting, like you said, someone that, you know, was opposition in the dance world. It's someone that you're like, no, I want to bond with you. And then the trust that Ken would have to be like, I'm gonna fly, I will just pack my bag and I will go, and we will see what happened.
He said he had nothing to lose, so
the epitome of just your dreams there.
Yeah, I will regret it if I don't try.
Yes. And good said about that he just picked up instruments. Was that for him? It blows my mind now. I appreciate they said about having to retrain a few bits, but
even trying to do that,
fine tuning.
I like that. Very good. You know, I've never just walked past a guitar and just thought, I really like the sound of that music, I'm going to try and recreate it. The passion that they are clearly born with, and then the work ethic that they've had even before they've come to being trained in those groups, is what drives those individuals, and some luck and circumstance as well, but separates from the people that I feel like maybe a bit like us, that are like, oh, we just love it, I'd love to do that.
If I had the work ethic, I could take over the world.
I think that'd be dangerous.
There's a reason I don't have it.
It's good. That's fine.
Yeah, we're safe.
I also think they totally lucked out, because I don't know if Josh was aware that Ken was obviously a bass. Because in terms of when you look at the voices they had, and then you needed that voice, that was amazing. So I don't know if they knew that, because if you only knew him as a dancer, can you imagine so you're a dancer, so can we just test out the vocals? you know, well, what's your range? And it just came out. They'd be like, oh shit.
He has such a range though.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So they'd be like, you know, who can we have to do this bit? He'd be like, I could do that. But really? So,
Yes, you've got
so lucky.
Base you've got everything.
I just like to
Exactly.
think of a conversation between Josh and Stell. So, do you remember that guy? The, you know, tall one, that beautiful skin, the dancer. You remember that guy? Really good looking guy. I remember that guy.
Beat
Yeah.
us that time.
I'll call him.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he'd be in it? Yeah, why not?
I just love the idea of how they described him.
I think that just speaks to all of them have like that level of a very high level of emotional maturity.
Okay. So I'm assuming the next episode will probably be like debut.
Oh,
I reckon. And I am aware that Casual Chuck has also done member episodes. Not of the docu-series, but he's done separate things for each member, which obviously would be nice to get to when we get to also solo music and yeah.
If someone could just pop down in the comments for me the army outfits.
Yeah, what is
and
that?
what MV is that from?
Yeah.
And Justin had a blue kind of caped look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to know about that.
That was like superhero / band geek.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh my god, is that my type? Because I have had a band geek thing before.
Okay.
Yeah. Those just if you've got time.
For research purposes.
Yes.
Okay. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.